Hello, this is James Corbett of CorbettReport.com here in Hiroshima in western Japan. In the Hiroshima Peace Park that marks the epicenter of the blast that rocked this city 64 years ago. It's November 2009, and US President and Nobel Peace Prize recipient Barack Obama is currently on a state visit to Japan. He was petitioned by the mayors of both Nagasaki and Hiroshima to visit Hiroshima and the Peace Park. But like every US president since that bombing, he has declined that request. Today I had the chance to talk to Motofumi Asai, the president of the Hiroshima Peace Institute, about Obama, the Peace Prize, nuclear disarmament, and the meaning of real and lasting peace.
Well, first of all, I was surprised when I watched the NHK broadcast in which he told his willingness to visit Hiroshima and Nagasaki when it would be appropriate or something, or in his presidency, which may continue at least 4 years, or well, if he is successful in managing his domestic affairs, he could be a U.S. president for 8 years. 8 years. Well, anyhow, it is clearly not now. But anyhow, his such remarks have given the hope on the part of Hiroshima citizens that he may come someday. So, well, I personally don't think that his coming to Hiroshima can promote the earlier nuclear abolition. It is one thing for him to express his determination to lead the world to a nuclear-free one. It is entirely the other for him to be really determined to depart from the so-called nuclear deterrence policy, or to stick to the present nuclear policy. I am not quite optimistic about it, although in a very long historical term, his speech in Prague, in Czech Republic, in April, may be remembered as a departure from the nuclear century to the non-nuclear century. It's just a historical assessment, but it would not affect the near-term U.S. nuclear policy. And I am rather sober about the prospects of the possibility of the change of U.S. nuclear policy.
The situation in Afghanistan is perilous and urgent. We must act now to reverse a deteriorating situation. I called over a year ago for additional U.S. troops to be placed in Afghanistan, as well as more non-military assistance and more support from our NATO allies. And I'm glad that there's a growing consensus back home that we need more resources in Afghanistan. We should not wait any longer to provide them.
Very simply speaking, I think there can't be any justifiable wars if they are initiated by the stronger powers against the weaker states. Although I am not a believer in the imperialist theory, but nevertheless, I think the U.S. policies since 1945 has been, by and large, imperialistic and militaristic, which could not be justified. Well, if the United States did not initiate any military actions or invasions, there could be far less wars in the world since 1945. And I don't support the theory of just war in the case of Afghanistan, as against, for instance, Iraq. They are the same to me. They are both unjustified wars. And I was really puzzled when I learned that Mr. Obama did distinguish between the two. Whereas denying the justifiability of the war against Iraq, he still sticks to the justness of his war in Afghanistan. But I have never been convinced by his reasoning about his war in Afghanistan. So I think, well, Mr. Obama will someday be forced to correct his wrong views about his argument in Afghanistan.
The Nobel Peace Prize for 2009 is to be awarded to President Barack Obama for his extraordinary efforts to strengthen international diplomacy and cooperation between peoples.
Many people were surprised by the Nobel Committee's selection of President Obama as the Peace Prize laureate.
I was surprised as well.
I was going to ask, what is your reaction to that?
Well, it was, as widely argued, I think it was the expression of the old continent, as Rumsfeld expressed. The expression of the European countries of the hope for the recovery of reasonableness on the part of the United States, and they put stakes on the on President Obama about such possibility. But it is not the expression of the firm conviction that Mr. Obama does change the present course of the U.S. policies.
This is a hugely ambitious plan. 22,000 more troops. You're going to increase spending by 60%. You said in your announcement, we must defeat Al-Qaeda.
Right.
This has really now become your war, hasn't it?
I think it's America's war.